Wendell, this is your boss, your employer. I command you to come back to work. The Penske files are piling up on your desk, and your TPS reports are overdue. I will forgive your absence because you are a radio jockey, but you must kiss all 4 arms of Ganesha and bring me 1 pound of curry as penalty. I will expect your service Monday morning. Do not disappoint me, Wendell.
All right. I have a Indian story here, and then I will relate a personal story.
All right.
Following this.
Awesome.
All right, here's the story. Bride walks out on groom after he botches a simple math problem.
All right.
An Indian bride has walked out of her wedding ceremony after her groom-to-be failed to solve a simple math problem.
All right. Seems like a good idea.
The bride tested the groom on his math skills, and when he got the sum wrong, she walked out.
So she waited till the wedding day to do
the
this?
wedding day.
To do this important math problem?
Well, she was just going to make sure that she was absolutely marrying somebody who was smart. I guess.
Okay.
The question she asked, how much is 15 plus 6?
And he missed this?
His reply?
Yeah.
17.
What?
17.
Well, I applaud her for being smart enough to get out of this before it was too late.
The incident took place late Wednesday in Rasulabad.
All right.
Rasoolabad.
Yeah, Rasulabad.
Rasulabad.
Yeah.
Village near the industrial town of Kanpur in northern Uttar Pradesh.
All right.
Local police officer Rakesh Kumar said Friday.
All right.
The groom's family tried persuading the bride to return, but she refused.
Because this guy didn't know math.
Right.
Okay.
She said the groom had misled them about his education.
Well, what did he say?
The groom's family kept us in the dark about his poor education, said Mohar Singh, the bride's father.
Okay.
Even a first grader can answer this.
I agree with that.
Local police mediated. The police were called in.
Wait a minute. The police were called
The
in.
police were called in.
Because this dumbbell doesn't know his math.
Because this chick walked out.
So what?
Bring her back to us.
Oh, that's right. They're not allowed to do that.
Right.
They're not allowed to have an opinion over there.
Well, I guess it probably broke out into probably like an argument or something. And probably like a local disturbance.
It's not like he ate a steak or something bad. That's not against the law.
Yeah. Local police mediated between the families, and both sides returned all the gifts and jewelry that had been exchanged before the wedding, Kumar said.
Yeah.
Last month, another bride in Uttar Pradesh married a wedding guest after her groom-to-be had a seizure and collapsed on the wedding at the wedding.
What? Oh, he's dead. Well, I'll take this guy instead.
Yeah, basically this guy had a seizure and he collapsed and went to the hospital. So she just said, fuck that guy. Next.
Who's next?
Next.
Anybody want some pussy tonight? Come marry me.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
The groom's family had not revealed that the groom had epilepsy. When the groom was rushed to a hospital in Rampur, the bride asked one of the wedding guests to step in and marry him.
Yeah.
Most marriages in India are arranged by the families of the bride and the groom. Except for brief meetings, the couple rarely get to know each other before the nuptials.
Oh, brother. And then they wonder why it's fucked up over there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep.
Not that it's any better here. Maybe we should try that over here.
Bring me good woman.
Yeah, well, dude, I wonder what their divorce rate is compared to ours.
I don't know.
Because ours, where we pick our own, that's sure not working.
Yeah, well, the thing is that with the Indian culture, that it's that old school that divorce is out of the question.
Yeah.
So you stick it out no matter how good or bad it is.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Boy, that would be fun. Mm-hmm. Oh, I already did that. Never mind.
Yeah. So anyway, I worked with Indians.
Yes.
For 2.5 years.
Yep.
Have you ever seen the comedian by the name of Russell Peters?
No, I have not.
He has a few specials on Netflix.
Right.
But this Russell Peters, pretty funny comedian guy. He's an Indian.
Okay.
His parents are originally from India, but he was born in Canada.
Okay.
So his family had relocated to Canada prior to him being born.
Right.
But being that he has Indian parents, he often talks about the Indian culture and the background and, the way that he was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he focuses in on during his, stand-up comedian, his routine is he talks about how cheap Indians are.
Oh, you have experience in that world.
Well, he makes a joke about it, but in reality, at least in my personal experience,
sure,
that is the case.
Right.
Just as cheap can be.
Okay.
A gal that I used to work with,
yeah,
she had just gotten so disgusted with the lack of ability to, run an office like what you and I would consider a normal office environment.
Okay.
Because they would never spend a dime on anything.
Like what?
Well,
give an example.
Well, okay. So if you were printing something, say they had like a copier,
okay,
a printer copier.
Sure.
Anytime anybody in that office hit print, no matter what it was for,
yeah,
the owner's wife,
mm-hmm,
who was always there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The first thing out of her mouth.
Yeah.
The first thing out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Who's printing? Who's printing?
What?
Yep. She had this shrilly voice that cut through your brains like nails. And if the printer went off because you were printing something from your from your desktop,
computer, right,
she would start yapping or actually yelling across the office. Who's printing? Who's printing?
Wait a minute. So this fucking place was so cheap.
Yes.
That A, she wanted to know who was printing.
Yes.
And B, I'm going to assume that if you said, hey, I just did.
Yes.
Had to answer to her.
Yes.
What you were printing.
Exactly.
And why.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
Exactly.
So what if, I'm going to throw an example, and I'll let you continue with this story, but what if, for an example, you were going through a list of potential customers? I'm just throwing some examples. Okay, and you've got a spreadsheet, and it's got, Joe Smith at joesmith.com, name, phone number, email address on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to print that out so that you could be at your desk making calls or emails or whatever, and then crossing names off the list.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be acceptable to her?
Well, again,
if she explained to you how you could do that on your laptop or your computer and not waste the paper.
Well, one of the things that she would explain to someone who was printing an email, that you needed to isolate the specific portion of the paper on the email that needed to be printed. So you needed to do print view and then select what portion of that paper needed to be printed. You know, like if you had
so that you wouldn't use an extra piece of paper.
Exactly. Exactly.
God damn, man. So fucked up.
So the sound of that printer going off was like Pavlov's dog, to where she would start bellowing, "Who's printing? Who's printing?"
Did you guys always tell her?
I would never say a word, even if it was me.
Right.
I would just sit there and just act like I had no idea what she was talking about.
Slink by later and casually take it off the printer.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's fucked up.
Well, then, to continue with the cheapness.
Yeah.
Once a year, we would have to attend a national, what do you want to call it? It's a
convention or something?
Convention. There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm going to stop you right here just for a minute because the chat room leads me to one more question about the copier.
Okay.
What if she felt you were wasting paper?
Oh, well, she would just flip out on it.
Would she try to charge you for the paper?
No, but she would just go off on this whole tangent. Why are you printing? Why are you printing this? I mean, she would stand there yelping, "Why are you printing this?"
And nobody ever said to her, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you going to do? She's the owner.
Oh. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Oh, the other thing?
Yeah.
This is no lie.
Yeah.
We had a satellite office in Ohio.
Okay.
And they had gotten in a new printer, a new copier machine.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they had an administrative gal that, worked over there. She did the phone answering and, administrative duties.
Sure.
And she asked her on the phone if she understood the copier and if she knew how to turn the counter back.
Turn the counter back?
Yeah, because if you lease a printer copier,
oh, you have to pay by
you pay by the copy.
Right.
So she wanted to know if she understood how to turn the copier, the printer, the counter back.
So she wanted to fucking cheat the copy.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Holy smokes.
So she asked her if she knew enough about the new printer copier that she understood how to turn the counter back.
You've got to be kidding.
Nope, I'm not kidding you.
That's fantastic.
And when the locally,
yeah,
when the the lease company who my former girlfriend worked for,
right?
That's how I got that gig was through my former girlfriend who sold that company, or sold their lease to them.
Right.
They would call once a month to get the printer counter reading.
Right.
She would always falsify that.
She'd be like, "Wow, we used 2,000 less than we did the month before."
More or less, yes.
It's great.
Yep. So that was the kind of stuff that, we dealt with on a daily basis.
You're a saint for staying there 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
Fuck,
so here, and I know you're aware of this story that I'm going to tell about the cheapness.
Okay.
So we had a yearly convention that we went to, and it was either held here in Chicago or it was held in New Orleans.
Right, sure.
And it was alternated every other year.
Right, and you went to New Orleans twice.
Yeah, twice. Mm-hmm. The first year that I was there, I went. The second year, it was here in Chicago, and then the third year, it was in New Orleans
just recently.
Yeah, last October.
Right.
Well, we had to drive down with our display equipment rather than truck it down or send it by way of LTL freight or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They felt it was cheaper that if we rented a king size cab pickup truck and a trailer, and we loaded all of our display equipment on the trailer and drove to New Orleans.
God.
And guess who drove every mile of the way?
The guy that has the CDL, of course.
That's, of course, me.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. So there's me, the two owners, actually the owner and the brother.
Right.
And then one of my coworkers.
Yeah, and since you weren't hired to be a truck driver, I'm sure you got paid extra.
Yeah, right? We drove from here to New Orleans.
Oh, you had to ride with two of them?
They were in the back in the king cab.
Okay.
They sat in the back, and then me and the coworker sat in the front.
Okay.
Of course, I was driving.
Right.
And we basically had, probably a ton and a half of equipment.
Right.
Loaded on a 20-foot trailer.
Okay.
And we drove all the way to New Orleans.
Okay.
Well, we get to New Orleans, and
how long of a drive is that, by the way?
14 hours.
14 hours.
Right.
With them in the back cab eating grapes off each other and you guys in the front.
Correct.
Fucking just suffering.
More or less.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's four of us in a pickup truck, me driving, those two in the back, my coworker in the passenger seat.
Right.
Pulling a 20-foot trailer with, a ton and a half of display equipment on it.
Okay.
Driving down to New Orleans.
Fun.
So we drive down. We left out on, we had to be down there on Sunday, so we left out on Saturday. Or actually, we left out on Friday afternoon and got down there Saturday. We actually drove until, late at night, stopped at a hotel just south of Memphis, and then drove in the rest of the way on Saturday.
Good, nice hotel?
Well, they being that they were Indians and that they have all these relations with Indian-owned hotels, they more or less got the employee discount.
The employee discount?
Well, and there's more to that story, too.
All right.
So they got the employee discount to where we could stop at like a Candlewood Suites or a Holiday Inn Express.
Okay.
Or something like that and get a room for like $35 a night.
Right.
But we had to share rooms though.
So how many coworkers?
Just one.
And so one room for you two.
Yep. And one room for he and his brother.
Okay.
So 2 rooms for 4 guys.
For 4 men.
Yes.
Yeah, that's easy. But I'll bet they gave you the option that you could pay full price and get your own room.
Well, I would imagine I could have done that. Yeah. But anyway, regardless, so we get down to New Orleans.
All right.
Get to the convention center on Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Offload the trailer.
Yep.
Then now the problem is, what do we do with the pickup truck and the trailer?
Okay.
Well, we figured out that they had a staging lot outside of the convention center where you could put your trailer.
Okay.
But they would charge you a parking spot.
Okay.
So they wanted me to drop the trailer there and just park it in with a bunch of other trailers like nobody would ever notice it there. which is what I did.
Nice.
Okay. Well, then we had the pickup truck because the hotel was about a mile away.
Yeah.
Well, it was the weekend. It's Saturday night, Sunday, and then the convention starts on Monday. Well, in most cities, in New Orleans included, if you park on the street, it's free parking because, most cities don't charge you parking at a parking meter on the street during the weekend.
Right, sure.
Well, they didn't want to valet park the truck or park it in the parking garage because that would be $30.
Right.
So they wanted to park it on the street.
Okay.
Which meant that I parked it on the street.
Sure.
So I basically had to take the pickup truck and park it about a block away. because that was the closest I could get to the hotel.
Okay.
Then walk back to the hotel.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. Because they didn't want to pay any parking at all.
Yeah.
I had to get up extra early on Monday because parking meter, calculations
starts at 5 in the morning.
Starts at 7.
Right.
So I had to get up and move the truck at 7 off the street and bring it into the hotel offloading zone. Where you pull in, where people are checking in, the check-in area.
Right.
So I had to bring it in like I was checking in to get it off the street. So they didn't have to pay parking on the street.
What a fucking bunch of cheap motherfuckers.
Then we drove the truck to the convention center.
Yeah.
And then they wanted me to park the truck in with where the trailer was parked.
Okay.
So there was no parking charge.
Okay, now what would have happened if you got caught?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Would they have towed the car?
I don't think they would have towed it. They might have given you a ticket. They might have put a ticket on the windshield or something.
Do you think if you would have got a ticket that they would have expected you to pay it?
No, I don't think that at all. But I think what the whole idea there was to avoid any kind of parking charge if at all possible.
Right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the equipment that they sell prices out at $250,000 to $500,000,
depending on what it is. It's about probably the cheapest is about $80,000 to the most expensive at $300,000.
All right, so $80,000 to $300,000,
right?
And you're worried about a $30 parking?
Yeah, because I'll give you a prime example here about the cheapness. I had to drive out to Missouri to go visit with some outside salespeople.
Right.
And I had a rental car.
Mm-hmm.
And to get out of the Chicago area onto Interstate 80, I have to go through one toll.
Okay.
Okay. The toll charge for cash was $1.20.
Okay.
If you have an iPass, it's 50% of that, so it's 60 cents.
Okay.
Well, I didn't have the iPass. I didn't have a company iPass.
Right.
And I paid the $1.20.
Okay.
And I turned in the receipt with my expenses.
Yeah.
And the expense report came back with a big note on it. Why $1.20? Why not 60? It's 60 cents with iPass.
Well, they didn't pay for your iPass.
Correct. But see, what they expected me to do was use my personal iPass.
Yeah.
And then reimburse myself 60 cents rather than $1.20 in cash.
Yeah, but fuck you. They didn't pay the 20, 40, whatever dollars it is for the iPass.
Correct. But see, but see, that's the other thing. Their policy was that if you had to travel less than 200 miles, you drive your own car.
No.
And
surprised you ever did that.
And the reimbursement charge on that, do you know what the national mileage charge is? Do you know
it's
what?
Like 50 cents or
it's
so,
It's 56.5 cents.
Yeah.
Do you know what their reimbursement was?
What?
25.
Fuck that. I would have never driven. I wouldn't have driven across the street.
Right.
Fuck that.
But I, had made that known to them. I go 25 cents. I go, the national mileage charge is 56.5.
Well, we not pay that.
Well, we do not pay that. We only pay 25.
Yeah. Well,
I go, well, then I'll never drive my car. Well, you have to, because our policy says that.
Your policy doesn't dictate me driving my personal vehicle.
That's exactly the argument there.
Yeah. Fuck off.
So that really became a pissing contest to where they go, well, we have decided we are going to raise our mileage rate to 30 cents a mile.
Yeah, well, keep raising them. When you get to 56, then I'll drive my own car.
Correct. And then they said, well, you're just going to have to deduct that on your taxes.
So? No, I'm not. I'm not going to deduct it from my
taxes. See, that's the whole idea of the whole entitlement that, well, you work here, so you need to give us your resources.
No, I don't.
I know, but that's the attitude, though.
Yeah. I know they hated you then, because I know you didn't just cave.
Oh, no, I didn't cave into any of that.
Fuck that.
So, anyway, but that's the kind of thing. So I quote unquote, overcharged them 60 cents for tolls because the iPass should only been 60 cents.
Yeah, okay.
Why did you not use an iPass? It's $1.20 without the iPass. It's 60 cents with the iPass.
Yeah,
why the $1.20? Why not 60?
Yeah. How about you pay that? How much is an iPass every month?
Well, it's not a monthly thing. It's just how often you use it.
Okay. So how much does it cost, though? You have to buy it once.
You don't buy an iPass. You put a certain amount of money on it.
Oh, is that how that
the
works?
iPass is free, but to charge it up, I think, goes in $40 increments.
Okay. So why didn't they hand you an iPass?
Well, because they didn't have one.
Oh, no, because they wanted you to spend the $40.
Yeah, they want you to have the iPass, but then you just reimburse 60 cents.
Yeah, but that's not the real cost. The real cost is still $1.20. It's just 60 cents of 60 cents goes to what they charge you for running that toll, and the other 60 cents comes off the money that you already paid. You paid $40. You charged up your iPass $40.
Right.
So eventually when you go through $1.20 toll, it charges you 60 cents, which you paid.
Yeah, 60 cents.
And it charges 60 cents, the other 60 cents, off of your iPass, right?
Well, no. It's just 60 cents off the iPass.
And you still paid 60 cents at the toll booth.
No. They're just saying that I should have turned in an iPass receipt.
So you don't pay anything at
No,
iPass.
when you go through the iPass, you just roll through there. You don't stop.
Oh, all right. But so basically you advance paid the 60
Basically,
cents.
Yes, correct.
All right. I see. I don't use iPass, obviously, as you learned this week.
Right. So they were upset that I overspent by 60 cents.
Nice. That's nice.
And then one last cheap story.
Yeah, okay.
So on one of my trips, on one of my traveling for this company, I had gone out to dinner. They had a meal policy, and they said that their meal policy was $7 to $10 for breakfast.
Okay.
$10 to $15 for lunch.
Okay.
And $25 for dinner.
Okay. That's not terrible.
It was a $40 maximum a day.
Yeah, I mean that's not horrible.
No, that's not horrible, but that's not the part that I'm going to get to.
Okay.
So, I drove from here to Kansas City.
Okay, how far? How many hours?
That's about an 8-hour ride.
Okay.
Okay. I did not stop for food or anything during that ride.
Okay.
It's because if I eat and stuff, I get too sleepy when I drive. So I left the house, basically drove straight through. I may have stopped for gas once.
Yeah.
And then got to Kansas City.
Okay.
When I got to Kansas City, then I went out to get something to eat.
Okay.
Went to a restaurant, had some food, had a couple glasses of wine. My total bill for my dinner for one meal that I charged for the entire day, $32.
Okay.
$8 below the $40 daily minimum.
No, wrong. That's what, $15 over what, $12 over what you were supposed to spend for dinner, right?
No, I was $6 over because $25 for dinner. So I was just like, well, the policy is only $25 for dinner. I go, well, I didn't spend anything for the rest of the day. And your policy also says no more than $40 a day.
Right.
How much did I spend during that day?
Yeah.
$32.
Right.
No, you don't understand. It's only $25 for dinner. I said, it doesn't matter what it costs for dinner.
Right.
Your policy says $40 a day. How much did I charge for an entire day?
Yeah.
$32.
But you owe me $8.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
But their argument was that I spent $32 on dinner and the policy says $25. But my argument was your policy says $40 for a day and I spent $32. I said, what difference does it make if I spent $8 on lunch and $24 on dinner? What difference does it make?
Yeah.
There's
a big difference.
I still spent $32 out of the 40.
Right.
That's what I spent. No, you overspent.
Fuck off.
Well,
pay it?
No, absolutely. Well, they paid it, but I not until after I had to hear the nonsense that went along with it.
Right.
So having to do this dick dance to justify your expenses
every time.
Every fucking time.
Did you ever have one trip where everything went just as it was supposed to?
Yes. The last expense report I turned in the day that I quit.
Oh, no. And do you think if you hadn't quit
there would have been questions. Why this? Why this? And then on top of that, I had gone to dinner one night. This was a totally different occasion.
Okay.
I spent $14
right
on dinner.
Okay.
And I tipped $3.
Okay.
Their maximum tip policy was 15%.
Wait a minute, who has a maximum tip policy?
Well, they do.
I've never heard of such a thing.
No more than 15% of the bill.
Or else what?
Well,
then you have to pay it?
Yeah, more or less, yes.
But you're allowed to spend. So wait a minute. If you're allowed to spend $25.
Correct.
And you spend $10 at Applebee's.
Right.
And you tip the girl $15.
Right.
That would be high treason.
Correct. Because it's more than 15% of the food bill.
But you're in the budget.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't matter. I was within the budget for the $32 dinner, but that was out of line too.
Jesus Christ.
Anything to get out of paying. That's the whole gamut with these people, is that anything you have to do to get out of paying.
Right. So ultimately, they're willing to have that argument every time because most
absolutely.
people will just fucking cave and say, okay, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck that.
So anyway, long story short, my dinner bill was $14.
Okay.
I think I tipped $3, I think.
Okay.
Which was over 15% of.
It's like 16%.
Yeah, exactly. So I over tipped by $1.20 or something like that.
Okay.
And all I heard, I got a note on the expense report, then I got 2 emails on why did I over tip.
Did you answer them?
No, absolutely not. And the email after about 3 days of not answering it, you did not answer my last email. I will not tolerate this.
Oh, fuck you.
And you know what? You know where that email went?
Where?
Delete.
Right. Fuck off.
Never answered it. never once even addressed it, acknowledged it, never answered it.
That's right.
Delete.
Just fuck yourself.
Basically, yeah.
God damn, you're more patient than me, my friend.
Well,
I don't know how you dealt with that shit.
There's a lot more stories to come, my friend.
I cannot fathom that I would have. I mean, I told you this when you were going through it. I would have knocked these motherfuckers out. The way they, and not even for this kind of shit. Just the way they treated you in general was like a fucking pauper.
But that's how they treat everyone.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right.
I'm not saying it makes it right, but this is. You know, we get into discussions here on the show about, people and their attitudes and racism and this and that. And it's always my contention It's not about your skin color. It's not about where you're from. It's not about anything other than behavior.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is just a behavioral thing. And that unfortunately is instilled in them in their culture because that's who they are.
Right.
You know, and that's the reason I've been able to tolerate it, is because once I went to work for them, I did a lot of, you know, studying on who they are, where they come from, what they're about, what's their nationality about, what's their religion about.
Right.
So it didn't scuff me the wrong way,
I guess,
when this kind of shit would happen.
I would have been fired.
It was just more or less, this is just to be expected because this is who you're dealing with.
Do you think anybody's ever knocked one of these fuckers out?
Oh, believe me, I saw more than my share of people storming in there because they had another component to the business, which was a warehouse operation.
Okay.
Where people came in from the warehouse ready to you know, rip somebody's face off due to what do you want to call it? Deductions from their paycheck and things.
And these guys, are they okay with that? I mean, are they willing to stand up and fight?
No, they're not. What happens is, and I think I explained this in the first Indian Tales, is that their only line of defense is trying to be intimidating from the jump with the yelling and the screaming and, you know, trying to intimidate you to the point to where you cower. But once that defense is broken, or it has zero effect, they got nothing.
So then they just cave.
Yeah, they cave. They become very cowardly.
Okay.
But most people don't understand that.
Right.
They, you know, because they do start yelling, literally yelling and screaming from the jump. And most people will say, holy shit, you know, I'm not going to deal with that.
Right.
But if you understand it enough to where you're able to maintain your composure and remain calm and stick to your resolve.
Right.
Once they get that out of their system and they realize that they have zero impact on you, then they got nothing.
So what would have happened to me if the first time he started yelling, I said, who the fuck do you think you're yelling at? And I got that crazy eye going. Would I still be employed?
No, you probably would have been fired. But, you know, the thing is that they're, you know, they would have, you know, basically crumpled like cowards.
Right. They'd have fired me on the phone after work.
Well, it's hard. Yeah, that's another story.
Oh no.
That's another story.
All right. It's funny.
So yeah, they're cowards. As a people, they're very cowardly people.
Okay. Nice.
I learned that, you know, they'll put up a big front at first and try to get the upper hand with just the intimidation factor of the yelling and the screaming. They try to paralyze you with fear.
Right.
And if that doesn't work, they got nothing left.
Nice.
It's over.
It's funny.
So anyway, so there you go. Some Indian Tales.
Some Indian Tales.
Some
nice.
cheap Indian Tales. Oh, that was the other thing I was telling you about, the gal that we had, an administrative gal.
Yeah.
She came in one morning and she made me laugh. She said, even the birds recognize this place. When I walked in, I heard all the birds in the trees just going, cheep, cheep, cheep.
It's probably true.
So if you want to, if you want to see a funny comedian who actually talks about that kind of stuff, check out Russell Peters' Red, White, and Brown.
All right, I will check.
That's what it's called. Out. Red, White, and Brown. He talks about how cheap Indian people are.
Netflix?
Yes, Netflix.
All right, I'll check him out tomorrow.
He basically said that Indians invented the numeral 0. Said you can't get any lower than 1. What about 0?
Very nice.
Yep. So there you are, my friend.
There it is.
That's another show in the can.
Done. Wow, this one went very fast.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there was. This went really, really quickly.
Yeah, it did. And we sound great, too.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I know it sounds good in my headphones.
Yeah, I told you. Little upgrades here and there, and we're good.
Yep, sounds great.
All right. Well, we want to thank John Adams from Saints of Rebellion for checking in with us here on the show tonight. Their CD is just self-titled, Saints of Rebellion.
Yep.
So go check it out if you like their, their kind of raw Southern energy.
Sure.
Good stuff. And, of course, everybody who's chimed in the chat room and tuned in tonight and been a part of the show and all that good stuff. So we appreciate it. Yep. What's coming up next week?
Diamond Lane.
Diamond Lane. All right, a California band.
Yeah, something new, something different. We'll introduce the people to Diamond Lane and interview somebody.
All right, sounds good.
We'll interview somebody from their band.
Nice. All right, sounds good to me. All right, well, I have nothing left. I actually had more stories to get to, but we'll get to them next week.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Sure. All right, well, let's get out of here. You got something you want to leave the folks with?
Let's leave the folks with LA Guns.
Oh, nice. I love LA Guns.
How's about if we go with Over the Edge?
Nice.
Just because that's sort of mellow.
Yeah, what's the album that was, or what was the movie?
It's Over Now. The movie was Point Break.
No, nice, yeah, Over the Edge.
But Over the Edge. But let's go with It's Over Now since the show's over.
Oh, you want to do that one?
Yeah, same album.
Yeah, I got it.
From Hollywood Vampire.
Nice. Yeah. All right, well, let's get out of here. Again, I appreciate everybody who's been a part of the show tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for downloading all the Spreaker and the iTunes and stuff.
Yeah.
You guys been kicking ass every week.
Yeah, we're appreciating these big numbers every week.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, these podcasts will be available sometime tomorrow, I'm sure.
They will be.
All right. We're out of here. Here's LA Guns from the Hollywood Vampires release, and this is It's Over Now exclusively here. This is Neeley, or rather Mick Neeley, along with my friend
Chris Hagen.
We're gone.
Bye, kids.